Sampling. It's the staple of modern popular music, especially in hip-hop and EDM dance tracks. But even in pop and rock music, musicians have been guilty of taking a snippet from another artist, repurposing the recording, and putting their name on the new song and calling it their own. Karl Marx said, "The object produced by labor, its product, now stands opposed to it as an alien being, as a power independent of the producer. The product of labor is labor, which has been embodied in an object and turned into a physical thing. This product is an objectification of labor." In this film, we will examine how this concept applies to the music industry, how easy it is for one man to have their intellectual property stolen by another despite a system that is put in place to protect their labor and ideas. We will also look into the culture of sampling and some of the victims of its process.
In the music industry, there's a couple different mechanisms by which songwriters can protect their work. And I'm certainly not going to paint a picture that the system is perfect, but if you'd like, I could explain the procedure. Does this mean that every sample that's been used went through this process? No. You know, sampling is a very controversial subject.
I wish I was like 6'9" so I can get with Leoshi, cause she don't know me, but yo, she's really fine. You know, I see her.
You write a song today and you copyright it, you fill out form, I think it's PA and form SR, and send $30 to DC, and you're protecting that intellectual property, the actual composition of the song, for I believe your lifetime plus I think it's 70 years. But that's the first mechanism, that's the first piece.
So all it takes is $35 and a visit to the United States Copyright Office website, and a songwriter's composition is protected. It allows Stevie Wonder to get his money in creating a Coolio song.
Been spending most of living in the pastime paradise. Keep spending most of life living in the gangster's paradise.
It allows surf guitarist Dick Dale to collect money from the Black Eyed Peas. And what allows the estate of Ray Charles to get their dues from Kanye West.
Okay, get your kids, but then they got their friends. I put up in the bins.
U.S. copyright protection also allows for the family of Marvin Gaye to fight back in court against singer Robin Thicke when they feel he stole from the song Got to Give It Up. It's a great system. It protects those who create from those who steal. But what about the people who can't afford to fight in court, or those in the backup band? In the case of backup drummer Clyde Stubblefield, he doesn't receive royalties, settlements, or even credits, even though he's the most featured drummer in hip-hop music.
Suckers burn, I learn they can't disable the power of my label. Def Jam tells you who I am, the enemy's public.
I'm like, who's up the scratch? He's always up in it and in the know. No, break it down, going toe to toe.
Souls who form style gain praise by pound. Common all speakers who honor the scroll. Scroll written down creates a new sound. Listeners listen to this.
Standing in a puddle, no one needs to tell me I'm in deep, deep trouble.
When I sat down, I just started playing a beat, something simple, and everybody joined in. And then Brown came in and put the lyrics to it, and it was called Funky Drummer. Next thing I know, all the rap artists was using it to sample it. I never got a thanks, I never got a hello, how you doing, or anything from any of the rap artists, or anything. The only one I got a thanks from was Melissa Etheridge. That was mine. He didn't tell me what to play. Asked me to play. I played what I felt, but he owned it.
Clyde wasn't able to afford a lawyer in order to fight in court for his work on Funky Drummer, and even if he could afford that lawyer, his case would have been thrown out. Clyde performed under a work made for hire agreement. Under this agreement, any work that is completed is owned by the purchaser of the work, in this case, James Brown. So any rap artist looking to use the sample pays money to the estate of James Brown. So Clyde receives nothing after his initial studio session payment. So his compensation for his work on over 87 tracks was one studio session fee. All the other producers had to do was either loop the track or copy and paste the sounds in the recording session.
The copyright process is not a legal team to support you when you need them and they come to your defense, and the government is there to, you know, step in and send you your royalties that are being infringed on, or your intellectual property that's being infringed on. Rather, it's a piece of paper that shows, that gives you something that you could then create your case on. You know, the legal system in this country is very much rooted in having resources and finances to be able to go after what you have.
So now you have to have the $35 copyright fee, the copyright paperwork, a legal team, and enough revenue to keep the lawyers fighting for you, and then you get your just due. In some cases, yes, but this was not the case for one of the most famous legal battles involving copyright infringement. The Recording Industry Association of America versus Sean Fanning, the founder of Napster. Even though Napster was shut down, the music industry saw the biggest backlash of consumer spending, support, and many famous artists lost their fan base and became the target for public ridicule.
Record companies fought tooth and nail over the issue, and the courts agreed. It's the record companies who hold the patent on cheating musicians out of money.
Is giving Napster the information that they thought that we couldn't get him, which is basically real people downloading Metallica master songs, not bootleg live recordings. What will they do?
Lawyers and researchers have your names, and we're gonna hunt you down like the table scrap pilfering grab asses you are.
Grab asses, bad!
So how does the Napster case apply to the sampling culture? It sets a precedent for about a couple hundred recording artists being hands-off when it comes to this man, Greg Michael Gillis, more famously known as Girl Talk. Gillis considers himself to be a collage artist, using samples and song selections from an almost unending library of studio recordings, remixes, and bootlegs in order to make an entire album's worth of repurposed music that he sells and performs live. The recording industry is afraid that Gillis is so popular that if they pursue legal action against him, they will see a repeat of the post-Napster backlash.
I'm not terribly familiar with the Girl Talk material, but I don't think you should be able to create music out of other people's compositions and masters and not credit them and compensate them for it.
So just how many samples does Gillis use in his recordings? Let's examine 30 seconds of one Girl Talk track off the album All Day.
Come on, boy, 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 boy.
You don't wanna fuck with me?
Yeah.
Come on!
Guess who's back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot spot.
Yeah.
Boy, y'all.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Our world.
Yo.
Catch me at the hot spot. Hot box. Stop clock. At the bar, y'all. All night. I pop. Is it alright? Show you right. Can't stop it. This is our world. Me and my girls. You catch me at the hot spot. Hot box. Stop clock. At the bar, y'all. All night. I pop. Is it alright? Show you right. Can't stop it. This is our world. Me and my girl. Yeah.
He's kind of taking this argument, the fair use argument, copyright argument that says I'm just creating new content. It's fair use, fair game. I don't think that this is, again, another component where it's not clear. There hasn't been any enforcement, like you said, so this definitely supports your argument. I mean, this is, I don't think it's right. I don't support it. I think when someone is taking the actual master recording of something, like a lot of energy and money and time went into making that version, I don't think you should be able to just grab it And now that you have tools, all these, these tools that allow people to analyze sounds.
86 and 87.
Well, the second half of the 80s, the freedoms of sampling came with the advent of technology companies that put together equipment.
When they got cheaper, basically because a lot more people were able to use them, and that in combination with some of the other factors gave rise to an explosion of new music and new ways of making music and new music.
If I put 0.25 seconds of it there, and then paste 0.125 seconds of it, which is half of that, and paste to 0.25 seconds again. So this is 1 second now, and this should be on a rhythm. Put in 0.125 seconds of silence. Put it twice, so it's 0.25 seconds of silence. I'm just taking his notes and rearranging them. I'll put in the minimal version. Then you can put a beat underneath that. Then I'll put in the extended version. And they're kind of layering over each other, so you can hear that ones that fit with each other. And I could slow either one of these down, so if I wanted to go, or speed them up, so if I wanted to go this, twice the speed and increase the pitch.
So that's it. The recording studio has come from multi-million-dollar facilities down to a single laptop and a record collection. Gillis has utilized technology to create a 70-minute album of what he considers to be original material and not pay a single dime to any of the artists who have unwittingly collaborated in his project. All he has to do is sit in his apartment and cut and paste any track he wants.
There's a lot of protection. It's just not all come together and resulted in a flawless system. So you have people like Girl Talk. I don't buy the fair use argument. I believe that people's intellectual property should be protected. I don't think it's good for the music industry. I don't get that. I mean, the process of going through the digital aggregator to get you on iTunes involves you having to say, I own everything, everything is cleared. No matter who you go through, whether it be TuneCore, InGrooves, you can't do that. So I don't support it. I don't think it's right, and I bet you if he keeps selling, there'll be lawsuits. Because the people that he's stealing from have the money to fight, which is different than the local singer-songwriter whose copyright might have been infringed upon. Money talks.
Because the music industry is such a reputation-driven industry, many songwriters and artists are afraid to fight in court for their royalties. Gillis and other pop music producers act as an alienating factor from the songwriter and his or her work. Clyde Stubblefield has no say or right in his contributions, being in the backup band for James Brown. And many songwriters are afraid for their future careers if they try to seek action in reconnecting with their works. The advances in technology have succeeded in a new form of control and alienation between the worker and his or her product.
Keep your heart, 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Hey, keep your heart, 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Man, these girls are smart, 3 stacks. These girls are smart. Play your part.